Partly cloudy this afternoon, 18 with the 4 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarik.
New Mitsubishi Triton with 10-year warranty, 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Latest data shows wages grew 2.4% in the year to March, about half the cost of living. The Morrison government argues international factors are mainly to blame for the rising inflation rate, but addressing the National Press Club, opposition leader Anthony Albanese says that's just a cop-out.
This delivers the biggest cuts to real wages in more than 20 years. Under Scott Morrison, real wages are plummeting while the costs of living are skyrocketing.
Meanwhile, former Liberal Prime Minister John Howard concedes the federal election is too close to call. Mr Howard has hit the hustings a number of times over the past 6 weeks in an effort to rally support from voters. Latest polling shows neither major party has enough primary support to govern in their own right. Campaigning in Sydney, Mr Howard says it could go down to the wire.
I find this election very hard to pick. I've been through a lot of campaigns. I thought we were going to win in 2019. I don't know. I hope we win. I think the trend is to us, but I will be a very interested spectator.
The daily number of new COVID cases in SA has jumped above 4,000 again today. There have also been 6 deaths, youngest a man in his 50s. 247 people with COVID are in hospital, including 10 in ICU. Flu cases across the country have tripled in the past fortnight, and experts are warning we're in for a bad flu season. Griffith University's Paul Van Blinder says this year's early figures are alarming.
2017 and 19 we saw over 250,000 cases of flu in Australia. It was only 50,000 in 2018, but these were big numbers that came July, August, September. So seeing over 10,000 already says that we're likely to have a very significant flu season.
Investigations are continuing after an 11-year-old boy was hit by a car at Seaford Rise while walking to school this morning. It happened at around 8:30. He's being treated for leg injuries. They're not believed to be life-threatening. The 26-year-old driver was not physically injured. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Sliding door scraping and dragging? Fix it yourself. Hit rollerco.com.au for all the parts.
The Red Army will be out in force tonight. Hindmarsh is hosting the first semi-final of the 2-leg tie between Adelaide United and Melbourne City. The Victory had a win against Western United in last night's other semi-final clash. In AFL, North Melbourne is tweaking its pre-game warm-ups as it tries to address poor game starts. The Roos have trailed by 5 goals or more at quarter-time on 3 occasions this season. Coach David Noble says they've made a few changes.
We've tinkered a little bit with our warm-up, got to make sure that the players are ready to go, make sure that they're ready to step up to the level that we need to. So, yeah, we've tinkered with a few things, and look, the best thing is you've got to front up to it and admit that, you haven't had great starts, and the players are very conscious of that. We try to start strong at training, so we're trying to get our players a sense of understanding what that actually looks like.
And pop star turned swimmer Cody Simpson has won his heat in the 100 metres butterfly, beating Olympic medalist Carl Chalmers at the Australian National Championships in Adelaide. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Parafield Gardens, smash on Martins Road near Shepperton Road. Modbury lights are playing up after an earlier smash Northeast Road near Tea Tree Plaza. Bridleyton, urgent electrical works there. Torrens Road at Blight Street. And Tatachilla, works causing delays in both directions. Main South Road near Marpers Road gets pretty slow throughout the peak. Cameras to look out for on the drive home today. Goodwood Road, Pasadena, and Cuddly Creek Road at Lobethal. Double vaxxed isn't fully vaxxed, and a third shot is your best shot of not catching COVID this winter. Book your third COVID shot at fullyvaxxed.sa.gov.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Partly cloudy this afternoon, 18. Partly cloudy again tomorrow, also 18. Friday, much the same, 17. And warmer on Saturday, a top of 20. Right now, it's 16 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
Children sold drugs in Adelaide's north, some treated in hospital. Details of a shocking case reveal. Vision of a bizarre supermarket ram raid. See how it all went wrong for the gang of thieves. Can Adelaide's petrol police finally push prices down? And a special medical report. The new health dangers from snoring. I'm Brenton Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
This is Rowey's Sports Show. Stephen Rowe and Leith Forrest.
Yes, it is. Good afternoon. 5 minutes after 4. Wednesday, hump day. You know what that means? Another big weekend of AFL football is not far away. Stephen Rowe, good afternoon.
Thank you, Leith. The season is just flying, but it's Reds' turn tonight.
Yes.
They play. So we're heading down to Cooper's, 6:35, kick off their first leg of the semi-final. Beat Melbourne City. Go you Reds.
Can they just wait till we get there? Can they just hold the...
You Reds. We'll speak to Brucey Gite about that. I can't wait for that first leg tonight. Still on the World Game, we will cross to Glasgow, Scotland and speak to Celtic Championship coach Ange Postecoglou, whose nickname was Ange Posta Has No Clue, whose nickname is Ange Postecoglou He Has a Clue. We've done that as a pre-record. I can't wait to play that.
Wins everything. Wins it all.
Wins it
Anywhere he goes, he wins.
Chump is so chumpy.
Yeah, listen out for that. So Rowey tries his best Scottish
accent. I'm good at Scottish.
Which Ange enjoyed. The media manager from Scotland standing next to him was a little confused. So there was a potential international incident.
So chumpy. Okay. Okay, AFL Port play Geelong in Geelong, 12:30 Saturday Arvo. We know that. Cats record, how's this? 41 wins and 5 losses before this season. 41 wins, 5 losses. They don't lose there. Their last 5 games, that's this year, they've only got 2 wins and 3 losses. They are wobbly there for the taking. So to inspire you Port fans, I thought I'd play this. The last time Port won there was 14 years ago.
One last hurrah. Loads up. They need a mark and then a goal. Westhoff almost. Motlop couldn't quite. Enright. Good tackle. Cassisi to win it. Cassisi does win it.
Dom is good. That was 2008, round 21. So they can do it, no questions. 14 years ago, here's Port star Travis Boak.
Oh, there's no doubt Geelong play, their home ground very well, and they're a quality side, have been for a long period of time wherever we play them, and we've always had some great challenges, whether it's over here and certainly down there. We actually haven't played down there too much in recent years, and Mum's already asked for 10 tickets, so she's already onto that, but it's always special to get back home. I love it.
God, I love him. I said this yesterday, I've been smashed. Port win, lock in the top 8.
Yeah,
I think that's how important it is. It's one of those real sliding door moments in your season. It's going to be a lot easier with skipper Tom Jonas. Here's Big Charlie.
I think you'd be right. I mean, TJ's sort of a bit of a no-fuss sort of character, so I think he'll want to play. So where I hadn't done anything in like 6 months and tried to run and felt like I was breathing through a straw.
Oh, do you love him? Speak to him Friday. And as we called yesterday, Big Charlie, well, he's having another gallop in the sample.
Pretty sure I'll play in the mags and, just try and get another run around again and go from there. Basically, me being confident in my body and confident that I'm going to go out there and contribute as well. And I don't want to just go out there and just standing there and be a burden for my team. I want to be able to help.
So that's Big Charlie on Channel 10 and Travis, thanks to Channel 9.
Well done. The bye come at a bad time for him, I think. His ankle was still sore and playing up. The triple threat of Giorgio, Marshall and Finlayson is filleting, so no rushy. But I'm with Timmy G. Play Charlie in the ruck this week for the Magpies. Load him up. Let's have a look, because he can be that second ruckman moving forward. We'll speak to Charlie on Friday. And talking about ruckman, talking about returns on the Crows front, Riley Thilthorpe. He hasn't played AFL since round 1. We know that. He's had what? He's had the vid. He's had influenza A. He's had a bung knee. He's had the bye. But he looks to be a lock for St Kilda Saturday night.
He's one we're keen to look at. So again, we've said he's been with a bit of lack of continuity with training through his health and safety protocols and whatnot. So we'll see how he pulls up from training today. But it was good to have a look at him. I've seen his ability around the footy from a ruck perspective, and also his ability to launch the ball and cover the ground. And he's feeling fresh. So that's I guess a good byproduct of him having a couple of lighter weeks, albeit forced for him.
Well, VB, her pip, hooray. Now, I know there's a lot in that.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease. You've been calling for this central one.
Well, we don't know the ins and outs, do we? Now, he's had a lot of things happen in that 9 weeks, but crikeys, he's prodigious talent. They need a ruck, a key forward. They need the talent. They need to get games in him, so get him in. I'd like to see him ruck with Strawny, and I don't know whether that's 60 Strawny, 40 he. I think his ruck development is probably his best part of his game at the moment. He's got some work to do up forward. He knows that. But that is great news. VB went on to speak about Rochelle and Saligo this week. Have a listen.
Today you would have seen, I think it was in the last drill or so, it was Josh Rochelle and Jake Saligo. We managed them this week. 9 rounds in, they haven't played a lot of footy the last couple of years with COVID interruptions as underages, so part of the plan today was to manage them. So at this stage it was managed through training. Maybe at some stage throughout the year it might be game management, but at the moment it was just a load management for both those guys because they played a lot of footy. They'll be right to go.
Yeah, I get doing it on the track, no question. They know I'm better. PPT. Got one of the best in Burjo, but I'm playing them both. Certainly Saligo. He's only been in for one. He's had a few outs. And they've got a bye in, 2 weeks' time. So I'm playing both of them, but there is some talk with Murph back. They could rest Josh. I hope not.
Big
Why
ask,
would they
though.
do that?
Well, straight out of high school, straight into 9 rounds of AFL. I can understand why it'd be
It's their job, their livelihood. That's what they do for a living.
Yep.
If they're not injured, you play. And if they want to rest, play Sample. I hate resting. Hate resting. Selection today, we'll have the teams tomorrow. So if you have an in or out, we are more than happy to hear your suggestion. For either team, any team, 822 300 $50 Powers voucher. We're going to take your calls after the break. Look forward to it. And here's another one you can get your teeth into. I like this one. We're sitting in the sport room. The AFL Commission, they're sitting today.
Yes.
And they're tipping a marathon session. Here's AFL boss Gil McLachlan.
I think the simple discussion is what's the best presentation of the game, the biggest game of the year. We won't be going tonight, it'll be a twilight or a day. And on the other side, it's decades and decades and over 100 years we've been playing at somewhere to something. And we respect that people like their rituals and the traditions, and that's on the other side. So is the game presented better for the biggest game of the year to an incredible, to 4 or 5 million people, as opposed to people, the core of our game, a lot of people like the tradition of 2:30. So that's the heart of the discussion.
So of all the things discussed in this marathon meeting, the number one thing is the grand final time slot. Where do you play it? What time?
That's right. So it's not night. So that's out.
Definitely
is it
out.
day or twilight? AFL grand final, day or twilight. Have your vote there. But here's the other things. The Tassie team, yay or nay? Centre bounce, in or out? TV rights, free to air or stream? Soft cap footy spend, AFLW start dates, who's Alistair Clarkson coaching? The list goes on and on. So if you're the chairman of the AFL Commission today, what stays and what goes?
8223 0000. Send us a text. Get to us via email. Put Gil McLachlan's hat on and that mustard jacket that he wore to the races.
Yeah.
What's your call on the big issues in the game? Let me ask you.
Okay, here
right
we go.
Now.
I'm twilight grand final.
Okay, so twilight. So not the 2:30 start?
All day, every day. I went to 2 twilight grand finals since of COVID. One was at the Gabba and one was at Optus, and that is by far the best emotion and atmosphere I've had. With the lights, the bands, the sounds, it goes into... I loved it. Loved it.
Tasmania.
I'm a yay to Tassie, and here's the yay to Tassie. I'm doing it next year.
That quick?
Oh, get him in. Why wait?
So Clarko will coach. Well, if you can get the AFLW sides together quickly, surely you can do an AFL
Get him
side.
in.
The bounce.
Get rid of it. Doesn't mean squat. Well, hang on. No, hang on.
Do you want a ceremonial one to
start the game, and that's all.
Okay.
Not in the second
But
quarter.
imagine how embarrassing it would be. Because I know that a lot of umpires don't want to umpire because they can't bounce. But imagine the
Get rid of
AFL
it.
grand final, you got one bounce in the entire game and they shank it. So what's the point?
And then they come back and throw it up.
That's right.
All right, get rid of it.
So all together.
Get rid of it.
Any other pressing issue?
Get
if you
rid
had
of it.
the hat on?
Well, the stand rule has to go.
Okay.
The 50-metre penalty has to go.
Are you shortening it to a 25?
Yeah, 25.
Okay.
50 has to go. It's too brutal. And here's the other one for me. On behalf of all Crows and Port supporters, every home and away game has to be free to wear. Now, away games live, that's not going to happen with all of them. But my non-negotiable, so they don't sell the farm, and for other states as well, especially interstate clubs, you got to show Crows and Port free to wear.
Yep.
I know it might be delayed. I get all of that. But if we've got to pay streaming services for our football in this state, we're not going to do it. I just don't think we're going to do it.
All right, let's find out. We want you to put your CEO hat on. 8223 0000. Pick any of those subject matters and have your say.
And one last one. AFL is letting kids under 13 years of age in for free during, let's call it the July school holidays, or rounds 14 to 17. 14, 15, 16, 17, kids under the age of 13, or 13 and under in actual fact, are free. And I'll tell you why they're doing this. It's the lowest crowd numbers since 1995. They've kept this hush-hush. You look at the advertiser after the game, they used to always have the crowd numbers in there.
Not anymore.
You can't draw a crowd number for Crows and Port in the paper.
Nope.
Crowds are down across the board 16%. Here in Adelaide, 20% plus.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's COVID. I know it's prices. I know it's, you got a big screen TV. You got your Harvey Norman number at home. It's the umpiring. It's the standard of the game. It's the rules, the physicality. I've always said it's called a death of 1,000 cuts. So give the game back to the fans for all those things.
I like it.
Bums on seats. Live football, there is nothing like
Get the kids in for free, drag mum and dad along, all the grandparents, and away you go.
Get them back out of the house.
If you are someone in that position with young children, or you take your grandkids to the footy, have you stopped going? And the reason why? Would you go?
We'd love to know why.
It is free. 8223 0000. So the highest crowd, what's the Adelaide Oval hold? 55.
Mm-hmm.
The highest crowd this year is 39,190 for a showdown.
That was the showdown.
So just under 40. I mean, old days, you'd never get a showdown under 40. The next highest was the Adelaide Crows and the Brisbane Lions at 36. Then it drops. Port and Western Bulldogs, 29. Crows and the Giants, 31. Port and West Coast, 28. Crows Richmond, 33. Even the AFLW Grand Final was 16. We know why. 23 for Port Adelaide and Melbourne. 23,000. Half full. So you can have your say on that, and of course we want to hear your CEO suggestions as well. Put Gills out on 4 a day and let us know. Big show on the way, 17 minutes after 4. Brodie Smith to join us, Bruce Jitte to highlight and have a look at tonight's big game, the Reds at Coopers, the great Lee Matthews after 5, Ange Postecoglou in Scotland from 5:30, and our mystery moment is $550.
Ooh.
Could be yours. Your calls though, next.
He's the heart and soul of the Adelaide Crows.
What a goal, Rory Sloane!
And each week, Crows captain Rory Sloane sits down with Rowey. Thanks to You Installer Kitchens. Custom-sized, fully assembled cabinets at a great price. The complete DIY solution.
Before you vote, have a listen to Craig Kelly's policy speech at the United Australia Party launch. See it on Channel 10 tonight at 9:45pm. Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
Breaking news at Beaumont's. As well as Australia's biggest range of tiles, Beaumont's now has a range of quality hybrid flooring. Get stunning hybrid timber look or make an impression with magnificent hybrid stone look. With our new quality flooring options, you'll be happy you chose Beaumont's.
Mini Jumbuck, Australia's favourite wool bedding products. Now located in McLaren Vale, Mini Jumbuck has a great range of quality Australian-made wool bedding products to suit all sleepers and all climates. You'll love their extensive range of Australian-made quilts, mattress toppers and pillows too. And remember, Mini Jumbuck McLaren Vale also stock a huge range of genuine sheepskin Ugg boots and quality merino wool clothing. For Australia's favourite wool products, call into Mini Jumbuck McLaren Vale, open 7 days.
Progress has been made to connect Australia's healthcare system. Now everyone can choose to get an electronic prescription, have a consultation with a doctor from home, and use My Health Record to view your COVID-19 dashboard, including boosters and test results. And there's more to come, connecting Australia to a healthier future and you to better healthcare. Find out more at digitalhealth.gov.au.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra. Spoken by Dr. Andrew Rochford.
For a limited time at Lordman and Pank Optometrists, Medibank members get 25% off lenses and lens extras when purchased with a frame. Combine this with your health fund benefits for even greater savings. Most claims can also be processed on the spot. But hurry, this exclusive offer must end May 22. Book an eye test today based on your eye health needs. Further T's and C's apply. See staff for details. Lordman and Pank. We care for eyes.
Hello, I'm Lynn Andrews. At Lynn Andrews Real Estate, we've seen a lot of change in the property market over the last 50 years, but one thing remains constant: our passion to help people invest in the future. to build strong property portfolios in commercial and residential real estate. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share with you. We are here to help. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
Hi, Nick Xenophon here. This election, you can vote differently. The green ballot paper is where you choose who forms government. The white ballot paper, where I'll be, is for the Senate, where I will stand up for South Australia because I give a damn. Vote 1 in Box O above the line on the white ballot paper to vote for me. Box O is just next to the Greens. Give me a go. Vote 1, Box O. Authorised by Nick Xenophon Paradise.
Scraped your caravan? Don't worry. Call Walker Crash Repairs, your RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
This is Rowey's Sports Show.
21 minutes after 4, big AFL meeting tonight, looking at everything from Tasmania to rule changes to the bounce being removed to the time slot of the grand final. If you could put on the CEO's hat, what changes are you making? We'll take your calls and your SMS in just 1 second. First, the traffic for the drive home.
At Parafield Gardens, smash on Martins Road near Shepherdson Road. Mod Bree lights are playing up after an earlier smash on North East Road near Tea Tree Plaza. Ridleyton, urgent electrical works, Torrens Road at Blight Street, and Fell, median works on Glenburn Road near Yongala Street continue. One lane closed and speeds at 25. Look out for a camera on the drive home. Dawes Road at Melrose Park. Watch Colin Firth and Tony Collette in the new drama series The Staircase, based on the thrilling true story of a crime that shocked the world. Stream of The Staircase now on Binge. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Let's go to the beautiful McLaren Vale. John, you're the CEO. What are you doing?
Okay, so I'll do this quickly, a few points. Twilight Grand Final, yeah, no-brainer. The only issue I have is, and it's with any sport around the world, the sun starts going down, and on TV, there's nothing worse than watching the picture flaring as it goes from shadow to sun. That's that can spoil the whole spectacle. But I'm in favour of it. So that's point one. Point two, the Tasmanian team, yeah, but I disagree with what you said the other week, Rowey. You can't have a Northern Territory team in there with the conditions. If you watch the Port St Kilda game, it was killed as a spectacle because of the humidity and the wet weather. It is not the time of year to play football in the Northern Territory. Get a club out of Melbourne, whether it's North Melbourne, Hawthorn, or one of those pseudo-Tasmanian clubs. Move them on, get them down there and keep the 18-team competition. And the other thing about it was, Stephen, you said they'd play each other once and have 19 games. How do you think it's going to be only having one showdown a year? They'd be hell to pay. Who's going to get the income this year? So
yeah,
I don't agree. That's why I said keep it at 18.
Yep.
And the other one that is I don't like at all, living in McLaren Vale, Thursday night football is a Melbourne metropolitan game. They've got a better transport system. It means the teams don't have to mess around travelling. And, there's nothing worse than travelling back to McLaren Vale if you lose a game. Thursday night football's out. To get the crowds, we've got to look at our best time slots for South Australia. I don't mind actually the Saturday twilight game. I don't mind that as a time slot because you can do stuff and you still got time to travel home. So there's my 2 bobs worth.
Nah, John, good to you, Bob. Loved it. I'll give you a $50 Powers voucher.
Well,
you get yourself 50, Bob.
Yeah, got a bit of the Ange Postecoglou's about that too, John.
Johnny,
I
loved it. Thank you. Let's go to Hillbank. Brett?
Yeah, g'day, Rowey. How you going, mate?
Good, my man.
I'll tell you why I'm not going to the footy, Rowey, and I'm even struggling to watch it on TV. And this game is over-officiated. I mean, the umpires are terrible. They get it wrong, I would say, 50% of the time. Like the Crows game on the weekend, let's forget about that. What about the one the week before? That's 2 weeks in a row the Crows have been crucified by umpires. And the same free kick doesn't get paid at the other end for the Crows.
Yep.
That's the thing that Rowey, I can't even watch it on TV anymore, mate. Because I want to watch the movie after the game, you know what I mean?
Brett, I'm with you. I can't remember the last time I watched a game, a random game, whether it be Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday afternoon when I'm home, that my team wasn't in it, or it wasn't due to my job, having to watch Port and Crows to be able to get my job done, Brett. I'm with you. And it leads us into this before we go to the break, 4:25. 5AA Breakfasts, David and Will, our hosts, love them. They spoke to John Kernahan. He's the CEO of the Adelaide Footy League about umpire bashing. Have a listen.
But it's not helped either by those that claim to be representing the game. You know, listening to your colleagues, Rowey, and the spray that he gave some umpires, does he really think that that's helping the game? You know, and Brian Taylor...
In the conversation he had with Bix yesterday, he almost admitted that it might not have been helping.
You know, it's not helpful. It's not helpful at all. Brian Taylor's the same. Not that long ago, we had Kevin Sheedy, one of the most respected people in Australian rules, calling umpires Martians. Now, would he do it today? Probably not. But it starts at the top.
I'm going to separate this. There's game day emotion, and then there's Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday. On a Monday morning, or in this case Wednesday morning, after the emotion of the game and the poor decision is over, Kerners, you are correct. You are 100% spot on. So is Bix, Brad Scott, Bix on Monday, and every other AFL umpire apologist. We need to do better, there's no question. And do I? Absolutely. My commentary on air from Monday to Friday around umpires could be better. And I do acknowledge the rules are hard to interpretate, for umpires to do, the stand rule, the 50-metre penalty, and we vent all our anger at the umpire when we should be venting it at the AFL. And I do from Monday to Friday, but not in the game. This great game, in the heat of the battle, when that umpire has a howler, it's an explosion of emotion. For 100 years, Leith, you know this.
Yep.
We've screamed at umps in frustration, in anger, in emotion, and probably 40 times a day. We jeer them on, we jeer them off. Now, is that right or is that wrong? No, it's part of the fabric of the game, the emotion of the game. And I, for one, will never stop that. I don't swear when I call it. I don't threaten. I'm not aggressive. It's frustration. And, Leith, it's a release. Some people, it's therapy.
But, and it's a big but, they're 6,000 umpires short.
No, I'm sick of hearing that. Of course we're 6,000 short. We've had an explosion of women's league.
I know, but you can't, you've got to change, otherwise we have no game.
No, don't, I'm sick of hearing from the AFL and the AFL apologies, oh, we're 6,000 umpires short. They'll come. We pay them well. The SANF will develop them well. The WAF will develop them well. What does the AFL do to development for umpires? 0.0. We do the heavy lifting. I'm sick of them using that as the reason. Get the quality of umpiring up, get the rules right, and we won't vent as much. I mean, honestly, it's not that hard. It's people's escapism. It's their passion. Game day, when there's a poor decision, what do you want everyone to do now?
Well, just...
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Not to that extent. As Big said, you don't abuse Taylor Walker for kicking 1 goal 4.
Oh, but and that argument wears thin on me as well. That honestly wears thin on me as well. We've done this for 100 years. Toughen up, umpires, and get better, is what I say. If we keep making apologies for them, excuses for them, they're not going to get better. Make them full-time. Make 3 umpires into 2. We don't need 3 of the yellow things running around out there for inconsistencies, and get the rules right. Get the interpretations right. This stand rule and the 50-metre rule, don't ever tell me calling a game of footy when they get that wrong not to explode in the box, because I bloody well will.
5AA Breakfast.
I'm really firing on all cylinders this morning. This is the best one. You're also wrong about Rose Porteous/Hancock being dead. I am. I just Googled it. She's alive. I'm not going to say another thing for the next 2 hours and 10 minutes. As I make a big goose of myself.
Yeah, you're on a big accuracy streak after this. I could feel it coming.
I'm due.
You're due. Yeah, that's right. You know, water finds its level.
6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA.
There's a hole in your budget, dear Labor, dear Labor.
Labor hasn't balanced a budget in over 30 years, and their COVID response would have cost an extra $81 billion. Labor didn't even cost their health policy and can't say how they'd fund billions of extra spending in their platform. And that means...
More taxes are coming, more taxes, more taxes. There's a hole in your budget, dear Labor, a hole.
It won't be easy under Albanese. Authorised by Ahurst Liberal Canberra.
Hey, it's Callum here. It's not by chance that Edwardstown Mazda is located bang on South Road. They wanted to make it easy to get your car serviced. any make or model. Make a pit stop at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be.
edwardstownmazda.com.au.
With your generosity, the Salvos can help women and children find a way out of violence and a way back into a safe and stable life. Donate to the Red Shield Appeal at salvationarmy.org.au and help us leave no one in need.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Tax time is around the corner, so now's the time to upgrade your home office with a laptop that's packed with features. HP have taken a fresh approach to the new 16-inch HP Victus. It's thin, light and powerful with a processor and graphics card ready to deliver high-definition gaming and immersive visuals. Not a gamer? The HP Victus specs are also perfect for graphic design and video editing. It has a long battery life and it charges fast too. Power down the device and go from 0 to 50% in around half an hour. And best yet, it comes with a $100 Harvey Norman gift voucher. Take the HP 16-inch Victus home for tax time, just $998.
Check out this great offer at 5AA.com.au. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Hi, Nick Xenophon here. This election, you can vote differently. The green ballot paper is where you choose who forms government. The white ballot paper, where I'll be, is for the Senate, where I will stand up for South Australia because I give a damn. Vote 1 in Box O above the line on the white ballot paper to vote for me. Box O is just next to the Greens. Give me a go. Vote 1, Box O. Authorised by Nick Xenophon Paradise.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. Latest data shows wages growth is worse than expected, coming in at 2.4% for the year to March. Inflation for the same period is more than twice as high. We're being urged to get a flu jab as cases spike across the nation. They've jumped threefold in the past fortnight to over 10,000. Investigations are continuing after an 11-year-old boy was hit by a car at Seaford Rise while walking to school this morning. He's being treated for leg injuries, and Adelaide United and Melbourne City are preparing to battle it out in the first leg of their semi-final tie at Coopers Stadium. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Modbury lights are playing up after an earlier smash on North East Road near Tea Tree Plaza. Mount George works are causing delays on the freeway up track near Kerry Gully Road. Allaby Gardens, civil maintenance works there. Grange Road near Coombe Road heading towards the beach. One lane closed, speeds at 40. Slow going at the moment. Tapley's Hill Road near Warren Avenue. And we've got a camera Anzac Highway at Ashford. This isn't a joke, people. KFC is now delivering its hot and spicy straight to your door. So get comfy on the couch. And remember, this offer's only on the KFC app and delivery fees apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Clear tonight, a low of 8, mostly sunny tomorrow, 18. Right now it's 16 degrees. More news at 5 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
Walker Crash Repairs. For easy insurance repairs on your caravan. Get it fixed right with Walker Crash Repairs.
This is Rowey's Sports Show.
27 minutes to 5, just before we get to B. Smith. Text messages coming through thick and fast for Sip and Save. This one from Dana Marino, 100% spot on, Rowey. Couldn't have said it better myself. This one said, Rowey, it's your fault they're cracking down. Choose another sport. Stop bringing the game into disrepute. Keep your arms down and your gob shut. This one from Peter says, Rowey, stop calling them rules. They're interpretations.
Correct.
That is why the game is in trouble.
Correct.
It is all the fault of the AFL.
Correct.
But this could very well be the text of the night.
Oh.
John Kernahan, CEO, is listening and said, pay them more. Gee, we haven't thought of that, Stephen. An open invitation for Stephen to umpire with me for just one day.
That's Kerners.
Let's do it.
That's a date.
Let's get you out on the field and you can see for yourself.
Not as if I haven't done it before back in my day when Jimmy was small for school footy and for... Kerners, more than happy to do it.
But to quote you, they were the button-up boots days.
No, I'll do it. No, that's great.
It might be. See if you cop any grief.
I didn't have a crack at Kerners. What Kerner said is spot on, 100% right. Bix is right. They're all right. But not in the heat of the battle in game day. How many emotions are we meant to take out of the game?
But then if you're going to boo them, boo everyone. So the Crows don't kick a goal at half-time, boo them.
Well, people do. I don't, but people do. I'm a booer.
Brody Smith.
I'll boo you in a minute.
He's brought to us by most often when I walk through the office. Brody Smith, thanks to Acer Couriers. If you need something delivered for your business, don't risk it. Ace it with Acer Couriers.
Smith goes long with his right leg off one step. He's kicked it. Smith has kicked it from the middle of the ground. It was an unbelievable kick. B. Smith, I miss you coming in. Where are you?
Rowey, I've just walked out of the gym, so the music's just stopped just in time, so ready to go.
Big session?
Yeah, it's never small in the gym. The gym boys get up and about for like an hour a day to smash into us, take full advantage.
Who are the boys that love pushing around a bit of tin? Who are the gym boys? Come on, the ones that, I don't know, grease themselves up, get in front of the mirrors and have a look at their biceps.
Rowley O'Brien loves it. Lairdy for a little man's always got his shirt off. Big Mars is always angry, so the more weight on, the better for him. He just loves throwing stuff around. So they're probably the main three.
Oh, beautiful. Let's talk about the Lions game. A tale of two halves, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. A tale of one quarter compared to three good ones, I think. We had a really good first half, and in that third quarter, they changed their game style a little bit, and credit to them, they're a good side, and we just didn't adjust. We sort of sat back a little bit and didn't come forward to the footy and cut off. They started lowering their eyes and that sort of thing. And a good side will cut through if you don't adjust, and that's what they did.
Okay. 15 points up with 2 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock. They get 2 quick goals. You go in 3 points up. How sapping is that? And talk to us about that half-time. How confident were you at half-time?
Yeah, we're feeling really good. The second quarter was a really good one for us, and especially being a couple of goals down at quarter time to stay in the fight, and I think really put them to the sword. I think that second quarter we were awesome and got the better of them. So as I said, we were confident. We had Dorse behind the footy, and that was working for us. And then, as I said, they made that adjustment in the third quarter. They started using the ball a bit more and try to draw us out, and we didn't quite adjust to get it back on our terms.
Yeah, 6 goals and 1 in the third. Dawson's non-holding the ball decision before the half-time, and then Ned does what he does. I don't want you to talk about umpiring because I don't want to entrap you, but how hard is it as a player to block that out and then concentrate on your next contest?
Extremely hard when it results in a goal against, and I think you saw from Ned, his decision sums up. He thought it was nothing but holding the ball, as did we all, so... definitely can't blame Ned for what he did, but it is zapping, especially when it results in a goal against, when you think it's clearly, I guess, a decision that's gone against you.
Did Ned get a bait from the coaches in the review for giving away that 50?
No, not at all. As I said, we all thought the same thing as what Ned did, so he tried to move the ball forward as quick as he could, as that's what we wanted to do, and unfortunately, I guess now you just got to look around and make sure it's the ball's going your way.
The club sent an email to the AFL coaches board to get a please explain. Have they emailed you back? Do you know? Are you in those conversations or privy to them, B. Smith?
I'm not in the email chain, Rowey, no. But I know that there's been some communication, and obviously there was a couple of calls that probably stood out, but. Okay. As I said, there's nothing we can do about it. We just got to keep playing footy and hope they go away. I'd
like to be in that email chain. I reckon I might add to it, B. Smith.
I bet you would.
Yeah. Sir Doug Nicholls round, what's it mean to you?
It's a really special round for everyone at the footy club, and just to celebrate the culture and what the Indigenous players, past and present, have brought to our game, and they're really exciting players and bring so much to the game and so much to our footy club. So. We had a guest speaker in today just to learn a little bit more about culture and a bit of history stuff, and we really embrace it and love it, and we get to wear a special Guernsey. I think every year we've got the best Guernsey, so it's always a great round for us.
Yeah, well said, I agree with that. Butsy, when's he out of ISO?
I believe it's the morning of, so a really tough one to sort of, obviously he's going to be away from the club for a week, but he is out on time to be selected, but a tough one to sort of weigh up. You're bringing a guy that's been away from the week from the club or not.
And Rolly Thilthorpe, we're hearing he's close to returning, hearing he's cutting up the track again.
Yeah, talking about weights, he was just in there. He did forwards for an hour, and then he did half an hour of the defender's weight, so he's up and about. He's loving it. So, he's an absolute workhorse, and he probably works too hard. He gets himself a bit sore at times, but, he's up and about and ready to go, so put his hand up for selection.
St Kilda Saturday night, Winnable. There's some teams in your career where no matter where you play or when you play, whether you're up the ladder, down the ladder, you seem to beat them, and St Kilda could be yours. You've won 11 of your last 12 against them. Average winning margin's 46 points. You beat them by that kick by Riley Thilthorpe last year up at Cairns. You'd be confident against this mob.
I might have to run those stats out to the boys before we play.
There you go. 11 of the last 12. So, there you go.
Take a bit of confidence from that. But yeah, well, I guess you look at last week and the way we challenged Brisbane, who I think are one of the top 2 sides in the competition. So we know we can do it when we play the way we want to play. It's just about doing it for 4 quarters. And if we do it for 4 quarters against St Kilda this weekend, we'll beat them. So it's as simple as that for me, really. It's just got to play our way and keep them under pressure for 4 quarters.
Who's that smashing the tin out in the background?
They're putting all the weights back. So
okay.
Yeah, it's just the gym boys going nuts trying to get it all back in one piece.
Hey, Brody, who chooses the music? Because Rowey's got a couple of suggestions. He reckons a bit of Neil Diamond when you're throwing the tin around down at the gym. What do you reckon?
That might...
Baby loves me!
Our group,
yeah.
Our group is majority 18 to 21-year-olds, so I've realised I've become the old crew when I'm getting a bit annoyed at some of the music and nightclub stuff that's getting rolled out, but... Paddy Parnell was just on for us, and he was very, very good.
Okay. What's your sort of genre?
I could listen to anything. I could listen to anything from Drake to Justin Bieber, so I'm happy.
Who?
You probably don't know either of them, Rowey.
Bieber? Who? No, you don't listen to his crap, do you? Whoa, goodness me.
Love it, yeah.
Okay, let's get serious now. Okay, if you were the chairman of the AFL, we open the show with this. You can elaborate yay or nay, but you can just be you, B. Smith. A day or a twilight grand final? Pick one.
Day.
Okay. Tasmania, in or out?
In.
Yeah, I agree.
As long as we don't have to play there too much. It's
Good.
cold.
Yeah, it is cold. Bounce the ball or not to start the game?
Well, I run off the square, so it's very, very frustrating to me when they get the bounce from and I've got to run back and then reset myself, so let's just throw it up.
Let's throw it up. The stand rule, in or out?
I don't mind the stand rule, but the restriction zone around it needs some adjusting.
What would you adjust it to? It will just be a little bit... The umpires have a bit better feel for it.
Yes.
That's good. So, do you think the 50-metre penalty rule should be down to 25 like in the SANFL?
Potentially, yeah. I think, especially the way the game is now, I think 50 metres just kills you with the zones and that sort of thing, so it's a massive penalty.
Okay. Should it be 2 umpires, central umpires, or 3?
I think 2.
Yeah. Boom. Well, that's not bad. You're the CEO. You're pretty much down my line, B. Smith. Well done.
Oh, I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah. Hey, we've got a Sip and Save text on our Sip and Save text line. What a great week to debut Terrick Newchurch. That's from Rob. How close is he? We get this every week, this one, B. Smith.
Very close. I think you've asked me for the last year and a half, and he's getting closer and closer each time. But
good.
He was one of the emergencies on the weekend, so that shows you that he is very, very close.
I like the little man. Hey, reckon you boys can get the job done against St Kilda. Have an absolute ripper, B. Smith. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Thanks, Roy.
He's a ripper.
He is
I missed him coming in.
Yeah, it's always fun when Brody's here. We'll
He
get him
always
next
brings
week.
a smile and a bit of bounce. ASIC Couriers, an SA family business doing great things for your business no matter what it is. ASIC can deliver it safely and on time, so don't risk it. Ace it with ASIC Couriers.
Interesting to hear Brody say that he doesn't mind the stand rule. It's more the 50-metre penalty when the player tries to suck the umpire in, runs his opponent around, and then they get 50. So there's from the horse's mouth. So there's a player, they don't mind the stand rule. I like it because it does encourage the play on. But you're right, there are too many players trying to milk that restricted zone that wrecks it a little bit.
The umpires have to have a better feel. That's all it is. I'm not bagging them.
No.
Kerners.
That's right.
Bix, Brad Scott, AFL, and all you AFL umpire apologists. They've got a job to do. Get better at it.
Kerner's got back to us too. He's just having a look at the fixture, working out which game you're going to do. Try and find the coldest morning possible.
Of course I'll do it.
Down at Pleurisy Park. Brody Smith, thanks to ASIC Couriers. Bruce Jitte on the other side of the break. Big night for the Reds. They take on Melbourne City, the first leg of the semi-finals. You'll hear and see Brucey on 10 Bold, 10 Play and Paramount. He's going to join us next.
At Sturt, look out for a smash on Diagonal Road near Seacombe Road. Modbury lights are playing up after an earlier smash on North East Road near Tea Tree Plaza. Mount George works are causing delays on the freeway up track near Kerry Gully Road, and Fell medium works continue Glenburn Road near Yongala Street. Busy at the moment, Cross Road near Fullerton Road, and we've got a camera at Birdwood Terrace out North Plimpton. With wireless Apple CarPlay, the Isuzu D-Max is born to rock. Visit your local Isuzu Ute dealer to find out more about the Isuzu D-Max. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Each week on the 5AA Breakfast Show, David and Will talk to star players from the Adelaide Crows. Thanks to Leader Computers, Australia's largest Australian-owned PC manufacturer, based right here in Adelaide.
Hi, Nick Xenophon here. This election, you can vote differently. The green ballot paper is where you choose who forms government. The white ballot paper, where I'll be, is for the Senate, where I will stand up for South Australia because I give a damn. Vote 1 in Box O above the line on the white ballot paper to vote for me. Box O is just next to the Greens. Give me a go. Vote 1, Box O. Authorised by Nick Xenophon Paradise.
I love my car. I love washing it, waxing it, looking at it, but mostly I just love working on it. And that's why I love eBay. With a wide range of car parts and accessories all at great prices, eBay is where I go to find the car part I need when I need it. Oh yeah, and I love starting it up. And driving it. Whatever the car, whatever the part, find it, buy it, fix it on eBay. All at great prices.
In times of loss, you need Embrace.
Dad passed away suddenly, and we hadn't given any thought to his funeral, but Deanne Edwards from Embrace Funerals truly cared about delivering the perfect funeral to honour him. The husband, the dad, the mate to so many, even the grandkids who he simply adored were involved. And every detail was organised with exceptional care and at a really affordable cost. Embrace Funerals gave us peace of mind.
When funerals need to be perfect, choose Embrace.
So why go with NRG Solar?
My contact with NRG Solar was through the receptionist who made an appointment for us and let us know exactly the date that people were coming to implement the system. They came punctually on the day. They communicated with us. They told us how to use the meter and so on, and overall cleaned up after themselves. We're very happy with the service provided by NRG Solar.
Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
Peaceful living awaits at the 19th at West. With golf course views, tree-lined walking trails and a new cafe and retail shopping precinct, the best of the West is at your fingertips. The architectural home designs allow for effortless living. It's no surprise 19th at West is selling quickly. Discover the new collection of exclusive 3 and 4 bedroom designs today. The19thwest.com.au. Delivered by Commercial and General, proudly creating South Australian communities for 25 years.
Get back on the road in the all-new Toyota Hilux at Jarvis Toyota. A 2.8 litre diesel delivering 20 kilowatts more power, plus over 10% improved fuel economy. Rediscover the road in the all-new Toyota Hilux at Jarvis Toyota.
I'm Rachel Swift, health specialist, small business owner, volunteer and Liberal candidate for Boothby. I listen and will be the strongest advocate for our community. A strong economy means a stronger future. Vote 1 for Rachel Swift in Boothby.
Authorised Des Meldrum, Liberal Adelaide.
Scraped your caravan? Walker Crash Repairs, an RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
This is Rowey's Sport Show.
12 minutes to 5. Make sure you head to the 5AA Facebook page. You can vote for the Adelaide Footy League Goal of the Week for round 6. The goal kicker with the most reactions, and there's some rippers. It'll score themselves a $50 voucher thanks to Sip and Save. We love Sip and Save. If you're catching up with mates, you can start at Sip and Save. Rowey, big night.
It's Reds v City tonight. It's semi-final o'clock, 6:35, the first leg. Joining us, former Red great, now Channel 10 commentator, and I think everyone's favourite, Bruce Jitte. Brucey, welcome.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
We need to deny Melbourne City possession, can we?
Of course we can. I think the boys are definitely good enough. It's just a matter if they're on their game at the right time tonight. But considering what they've done the last 6 weeks, I think they've won 6 in a row. They've got a heap of momentum, great confidence, good young players, top quality experienced players. Melbourne City has all of that too. So therein lies the challenge, but at home, I think they'll prove to be the better side.
The two sides have reduced 11 goals in those three encounters. So who do you think's more likely to keep the other one out?
Look, I'd back our defence. I think we've got a stronger defence than City does. But to counter that, to be brutally honest, Melbourne City's got a stronger offence than what we do. With Jamie McLaren, Lecky and Naboo, there's going to be that constant threat. So it's going to be an interesting game, but I think that's why Carl is so intent on us having more possession than City, because if his boys can keep the ball away from them, it limits their danger, and that's the key difference between Central Coast Mariners, who would tend to make more mistakes on the ball than a Melbourne City would, because they've got better individual players. So that's definitely going to be the challenge for the team tonight.
The other thing's the start. I think I look back at the last three encounters, they've got the first goal every time. I don't want to see that tonight when I'm down there, Brucey.
We do not want to see that.
No.
And I think in finals you can't afford to have that sort of, it's great to come back from behind. Adelaide United have done it many times this season. They're the comeback kings, no doubt about that. But in a finals game at home, you really want to get the crowd engaged, build on some momentum, and you don't want to be conceding the first goal, that's for sure.
Yeah, you said they're confident, they're certainly healthy, and I think they're good things. We spoke to Goody at the start of the week, and he said we haven't used the same 11 at all this year, but we probably could do tonight. So a little bit of continuity would be good too, Bruce.
A little bit of continuity would be good, but I would note that last game they went with the two strikers in Cassini and Ibasuki.
Yes.
Personally, I would be surprised, considering now this is a two-legged tie. It's not a knockout one-off game. I'd be surprised if Cassini and Ibasuki both start tonight.
Ooh.
I expect the team to go back to the one striker, but that's why I'm not a coach, mate. I wouldn't want to be the one making those decisions. But I would not be surprised if they keep that continuation of changing that first 11.
I said we spoke to Craig Goodwin at the start of the week. His goal and his goal assist last week to win 6 in a row. Is he the best player in the A-League right now? I said that to him and he didn't deny it.
He's the most informed.
Yeah.
He's the most informed player. Yeah. He'd be the most informed player in the league. I mean, some may argue that Cummings from Central Coast Mariners is that player, but, they did of him and his team last week by defeating them here, and, Craig was instrumental in that. Assists, goals. He'd have to be, he's in career best form. And to be honest, I can't think of another player who's delivering what he is week in, week out.
He's a bloody ripper. I'm tipping a 2-1 our way. I don't think we can deny them one in the back of the onion net, but 2-1 to do me. What about you?
I think it'll be a tight game, and it's an interesting one. It's not one that Australian players particularly are used to, that two-legged tie. At the end of this game, it's almost like half-time. So I think teams can afford to be more cagey. They don't have to go out and attack straight away because there's so much game still to play. I'm tipping a 1-0.
Beautiful.
1-0, I reckon.
That'll do. Hey, Bruce, we'll see you tonight.
We'll see you tonight. Thanks, Rowey. Thanks for having me on, mate.
Fantastic. Channel 10 commentator, former Red great, Bruce Gitte, our guest.
And of course, you can see Adelaide United, Melbourne City tonight, Cooper Stadium live from 6 o'clock Adelaide time on 10 Bold, 10 Play and Paramount. And then the second game will be on Sunday from 1 o'clock local time. So go you Reds.
Sip and Save text, can you please tell Rowey to call B. Smith by his correct Christian name, Brody? It sounds awful when he's interviewing him. Thanks, Jenny. Jenny.
Come on, Jen.
Buddy or Bud? Or Lance?
Lance.
Dustin Martin or Dusty?
Dusty.
And B. Smith's nickname is B. Smith. Yep. Brody. It's not a footy name, Jen. Hello, Mike.
How are you?
Good, Mike.
Sorry, I just bit out of path. I'll run to the phone.
Oh, yeah. Take a breath. Come on.
Stephen,
you'll be
the
right.
reason I rang,
Mike,
I
you'll be right.
agree with a lot you're going on about with the umpires.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're ruining the game. There should only be 2 umpires.
Correct.
But the best umpire I ever saw, the game was slower, but there was only one umpire, and the best umpire I ever saw, and I've told him to his face, KG Cunningham, because he had one ingredient, and that was common sense. And these umpires, totally lacking in common sense, it's like they're robots controlled by AFL House or VFL House, either way. A couple of things. That 50-metre penalty should be 25.
Correct.
And the out-of-bounds, I turned the Crows game off at half-time. I was so sick and tired of it, but I just don't notice it in Crows games. I notice it in all the games. I saw in one game, a guy was jammed in the forward pocket, and there were about 5 backmen, and there were about 5 players, 6 players around him. He could have let it go out of bounds, but he wanted to get the ball down the ground, and he kicked it, and it went 40 metres and bounced about 7 times and went out of bounds, and he got pinged for...
Deliberate.
Well, they've got to have last touch like the sample. That's been brilliant, because you know what they do in the sample? They play the corridor. Mike, take a breath. Thank you. Great call. Hello, Robert.
Hi guys, just a few points. The AFL management in its wisdom has actually made the umpires the whole issue, and that's exactly what they say they don't want to do. And if there's one rule that you can't be inconsistent in, it has to be this 50-metre penalty. And when you see in the same game, so I watched 3 games on the weekend, and I'm not saying any of these games the result would have changed, but I switched off after the Pies, North Melbourne and the Crows, because the 50-metre penalty, each of those teams who were all struggling had momentum, and their momentum was completely destroyed, and I was so frustrated, I actually turned those whole 3 games off. And as far as like Tex, we were all unhappy. 1 goal for, not acceptable. So it's not just umpires. Then I watched the FIVEAA game, which should have been on free-to-air.
Correct.
And the umpiring, I mean, there was a few howlers, but the umpiring was refreshing to what we see in the AFL. And I guess the whole thing is that the umpires, I guess they're under pressure, but when you have in the same game one paid not, that 50-metre penalty is too extreme. It kills the team's momentum. And even the games, I mean, I'm not a Pie supporter, nor North Melbourne. I was so frustrated I turned it off. And I am a Crow supporter, and that 50-metre, I turned it off because...
It saps you, Robert. It did in the coach's box. It did on the field. It did with the players. They've contacted the AFL. It did in the broadcasting booth. I took my cans off and I had to walk out the back and take a big, deep breath, Robert. It's a tough job, granted. Bloody tough job. The rules make it even tougher. And they're not rules. We've got a number of texts here on the Sip and Save text. They're interpretations. And when they're inconsistent, during the game, I'll say it again, there will be explosions of emotions. Don't try and curb that. Now, from Monday to Saturday, fine. But don't go telling me to curb my emotions when an umpire gets it wrong during a game, or anyone that's paid their hard-earned money to watch them play. Get nicked.
Do you reckon there's any frustration with your own team just bleeding into the umpires, though? Because when you're in front and you're winning, you don't seem to care about the umpires much. When your team's garbage and the umpiring's bad, then all of a sudden you funnel it straight to the umpires.
What's a natural...
Never heard of supporter in front whinge about umpires.
No, what do we naturally do? What have we naturally done for years? You rip into the umpires.
Of course, but we've got to change. You've got to evolve, Stephen. It's not prehistoric days. Lee Matthews next.
No one gets it right all the time, but Morrison makes too many mistakes and too many excuses.
That's not my job. That's not my job. It's not my job to do that.
Authorised P. Erickson, Australian Labor Party, Canberra.
Would you like to bank $500,000? You could do just that if you get your tickets early in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. 2 early birds will each take away $500,000 in cash. There's no better reason to get in early. Your tickets also stay in the draw for the $4 million grand prize at Headley Beach. Join the fight and buy your tickets at homelottery.com.au. Licence M14166.
Cue the fireworks. Southern Mitsubishi is celebrating the end of financial year with a bang. Ooh, that one's pretty. I like that one. The team at Southern Mitsubishi will light up your life with huge savings across the entire Mitsubishi range, all designed to thrill. Don't miss your chance to start the new financial year on a high. Visit Southern Mitsubishi and save. 147 Main South Road, Morford Vale, driven by Australian Motors, LVD 80.
Reconciling bank transactions, but with a couple of taps. Making sure everything matches up, but handled automatically instead. With Xero, it's business but better. Start your free 30-day trial at xero.com.
What's for dinner? Coles have over 100 easy recipes for you to try, all made with 5 ingredients in 30 minutes or less. Head to coles.com.au right now to find out what's for dinner. That's value the Australian way at Coles.
$1 trillion of debt means 6% home loan rates, and you will lose your home. We'll freeze home loan rates below 3% for 5 years. Save your home. Vote United Australia Party.
Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly clear tonight, a low of 8 with the 5 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
The Prime Minister says his government has form when it comes to wages growth, despite workers' pay failing to keep up with the cost of living. New data by the Bureau of Statistics shows annual pay packets have grown at about half the rate of inflation over the past 12 months. Labor says workers are paying the price for Scott Morrison's economic mismanagement, but Mr Morrison says he's got a strong track record.
In 7 out of the last 8 years, their minimum wage has gone up more than inflation. When Labor was in power, only 3 out of 6 years did that happen. So our government has form in seeing that minimum wage, which has increased by 7% in real terms since we've been in government.
Labor will release the cost of its policies tomorrow and its plan to reduce debt and deficit. Meanwhile, almost 6 million voters have already pre-polled or applied for a postal vote. More than 550 early voting centres have been open for 10 days. A brave worker scared off 3 would-be thieves after a ram raid at Felixstowe this morning. A van with a pole attached to the back reversed into the glass front door of the Foodland supermarket on Paynham Road. The fruit and veg manager yelled at them and they ran off. Store manager Paolo Paris says they were well equipped.
It looks like they had sledgehammers. They were pretty much all masked up, gloved up, and just were carrying sledgehammers.
As feared flu cases have skyrocketed in Australia, jumping 3-fold in the past fortnight. Infectious diseases expert Professor Paul Griffin says it's alarming.
The consequences of those infections are likely to be greater because our population is very susceptible. So this is a bit of a concerning picture and of course highlights why we need to intervene, and of course that's the vaccine.
Just over 5 million Australians have received a flu vaccine this year. Meanwhile, COVID case numbers have increased slightly today in SA with 4,072 new infections. 247 people are in hospital, 10 in ICU and 1 on a ventilator. Another 6 people have died with the virus in their 50s, 70s, 80s and 90s. Talks searching for an end to the Russian invasion of Ukraine appear to have been halted, with both sides blaming each other for the collapse. Moscow is claiming victory in the town of Mariupol as Ukrainian fighters poured out of a steel plant in the area. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Sliding door scraping and dragging? Fix it yourself. Hit rollerco.com.au for all the parts.
Adelaide United face Melbourne City at Coopers Stadium tonight in the first of their semi-finals. The home side are unbeaten against City this season. Channel 10 commentator Bruce Gittay telling Rowey it's set to be a tight game.
Not one that Australian players particularly are used to, that two-legged tie. So I think teams can afford to be more cagey, that don't have to go out and attack straight away because so much game still to play.
The gates open at 5:30, kick-off is 6:35. Shayna Jack has made her return to competitive swimming after a 2-year doping ban, winning her 100 freestyle heat on day one of the Australian Championships in Adelaide. And in NBA action, Miami Heat has defeated the Boston Celtics in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Complete Windscreens, the trusted South Australian name for car window tinting in Adelaide for over 40 years.
At Sturt, got a smash on Diagonal Road near Seacombe Road. Mod Breed lights are playing up after an earlier smash Northeast Road near T3 Plaza. And Mount George, works are causing delays on the freeway up track near Kerry Gully Road. Busy at the moment, Kings Road near Cross Keys Road. And look out for a camera at Dawes Road at Melrose Park. What's better than getting a mouth-watering Krispy Kreme original glazed donut? Getting 4 of them. For a limited time only, get the $10 4-pack for just $8 at OTR stores. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Clear tonight, a low of 8, mostly sunny tomorrow, 18, partly cloudy on Friday, 18, and mostly sunny on Saturday, 20. Right now it's 15 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
Children sold drugs in Adelaide's north, some treated in hospital. Details of a shocking case reveal. Vision of a bizarre supermarket ram raid. See how it all went wrong for the gang of thieves. Can Adelaide's petrol police finally push prices down? And a special medical report. The new health dangers from snoring. I'm Brenton Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. National Tiles have just landed an all-new hybrid range of classic oak flooring. This amazing, fully waterproof Timberlook classic oak flooring comes in extra long planks, just like the real thing. DIY this fabulous all-new oak flooring for under $60 per metre, or we'll lay it for you for just $27 per metre more. So check out National Tiles' all-new classic oak flooring in-store or at nationaltiles.com.au now.
Do you know how protective your face mask really is? Is it PPE Tech protected? PPE Tech manufactures tight-fitting P2 certified face masks. That means they're proven to filter more than 98% of particles. And better yet, they're made right here in Australia. Right now, get free delivery and save up to 40% off disposable P2 face masks. Don't settle for anything less than Australian-made PPE Tech P2 face masks. Order online at ppetech.com.au today. ppetech.com.au. This is Rowey's Sports Show. Stephen Rowe and Lee Forrest.
7 minutes after 5, big hour on the way thanks to the Barrow Hotel Group. $550 could be yours with our mystery moment. We'll head to Scotland and speak to Ange Postecoglou, the championship-winning coach for Celtic, and from one great coach to another.
Lee Matthews.
Oh, the post is broken. Matthews in it. Oh, talk about a he-man.
On the 5AA Sports Show.
Oh, it's Wednesday. It's Lee Matthews Day. Lee, welcome.
Good evening, Rope. Now, the Crows-Lions game, I think we had a bet, but I'm not sure what I won. What did I win again?
Oh, bottle of Merlot.
a bottle of Merlot would be terrific. Exactly. I want to talk about the game just a little bit, right? The inside 50s was similar, 53 to 57. The scoring shots was similar, 21 to 22. But the Crows, as we know, kicked 9 goals, 12, and the Lions kicked 16-16. Like the Lions were very accurate, and the Crows were very inaccurate. Now, I always think goal-kicking accuracy it's got a degree of randomness about it from week to week, month to month. You know, I don't think we at the end of the year say, you might look at the stats after 20 games and one side has had a really good year in accuracy or a good month or a good week. Do you think the Lions have been incredibly accurate all year, and the opposition, when they play them, have been very inaccurate, like on average over the time? Now, is that random, or is there something kind of in a structural sense, or something that is creating that?
Well, I think with the Lions, for the Lions games I watch, their ball movement, they get the ball deep, so you're obviously kicking goals close range, and you're more likely to kick it. But I think, and then across the ground, your defensive actions have been fantastic.
Because just statistically, I mean, the Lions actually kick a goal from shots like 60% of the time, 66% of the time, which is the best in the competition. But the opposition only kick a goal 52% of their shots. But it's something that is exactly how the Crows-Lions game played out. The Lions were much more accurate, had similar scoring shots, much more accurate, and won by a pretty big margin. But in terms of inside 50s and actual scoring shots, the Crows were pretty much very similar. So just goes to show, I don't think you can make it happen, unfortunately, except have shots from close range. But just it makes a difference to the result, doesn't it?
It does. Well, I know a stat to be in the last 10 years, the team with the best efficiency, so that's per disposals per goal, and it's around 20, 21, 22, correct?
Right, okay.
They've won the flag. Melbourne last year, you guys this year are the best disposals per goal team in the comp, and it's a good measuring stick, that one. I mean, when you got it, you use it, and you're hitting the scoreboard.
It is interesting because we know, I remember back in the North Melbourne days in the 90s when Dennis Pagan was coaching North Melbourne, they were winning premierships. And he used to have this little, that he wanted to kick a goal from every 20 disposals.
There you go.
But then, of course, what we've seen since then, that was when mainly you might have had 200 kicks, 100 handball, 300 disposals. And we have had the periods, because we're having heaps of handball, you can have almost 200 kicks, 200 handballs. But I reckon footy has changed a little bit just this last year or two, where it is much more. It's not a kick handball, one kick, one handball game anymore. I think most teams are getting closer, 2 kicks to one handball. But anyway, it was interesting. So the Lions won fairly easily, but when I look at those numbers, I think the Crows must have been in the game in a sense, not the scoreboard so much, but the general play more than the scoreboard would have made you believe.
Well, they were up to half time, and then an umpire had a howler. Can you give me some levity, Lee? I like listening to you. You're pragmatic. I've been bagging them all week. They've got to lift their game. The AFL saying respect and responsibility to umpires. I'm happy for that Monday to Friday, but in a game, every fan and every person is going to explode over an umpire decision, and I don't see the AFL ever being able to correct that.
No. So, well, that's normal.
Yeah,
but
correct.
The fact is, we're all going to go to the footy, and when I go to the footy, and I don't think I'd watch it unbiasedly, even so if I'm on the board of the Lions, as we know. But I don't think I'm biased when I watch the footy. But it's only the occasional time where I think that was a really poor decision. Like every now and again, it'll hit you. But if you're a fan and you're watching the game and really emotionally involved, well, every time the free kick's against your team, you're almost unhappy, aren't you? But it's interesting, but the one thing I reckon about umpiring that seems to me as time's gone on, and actually just by the way, there's a little documentary they did on the Anzac Day game in Melbourne about a month ago, and the three umpires, the pre-game, the game itself, and then the post-game talking about it. You should watch that because it makes them look human.
Excellent, I will.
They are. They're human.
Of course they are.
Point. But anyway, But the one thing I reckon about umpires, we want the best decision makers, don't we?
Correct.
So, I mean, I know the commission was meeting today, and for someone said that the game all recommended get rid of the bounce, because if we want more umpires, which we desperately going to need, we shouldn't have to have a skill to be an umpire. So therefore, okay, we know the bounce of the ball's been a little bit traditional in the game, but I don't know about you, Rowey. I often say if I'd sort of finished playing in my mid-20s or even 30-year-old, and you thought, well, will I take up umpiring? I said, oh, no, bouncing's too hard. I'm not going to take it up, right? So I just don't... I think we're at the time, we know we need heaps more umpires, so what can we do to make it a little bit more attractive, right? Drop the bounce so you don't need a skill, and this other one's much harder, but how can we somehow develop an umpiring system where you don't have to run a half marathon every week as an umpire? I mean, so in other words, if the running need was a little bit less, then maybe you could umpire to your 50-odd. Like, in other words, a fairly fit 50-year-old could still umpire a game by, maybe that means at a very elite level of having 4 or 5 umpires. But that's just to get more people who are prepared to do it, Rowey. But the fact is, it's a grey game, all the rules are pretty grey, and we can look at it over and over again and say, oh, yeah, that was a bad decision or that was a good decision. But I kind of think that nothing is ever going to change that emotional that emotional belief that the umpire screwed us because he made a free kick against us. So I think that one is locked in. I can't imagine that ever changes.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Hey, Sydney Swan, Luke Parker, he mocked Dylan Shield in their game. He basically said he was a scaredy cat. We had Sheeds on yesterday, and he said he would instruct one of his boys to run through him. Where do you sit on all this?
I say that's a stupid comment, to be honest. But what should happen, in my view, because you don't go looking for retribution. In my view, I mean, we got a really good view of it on television, didn't the way it turned out. You saw exactly what Luke Parker did, and he was sort of mocking him. And to be honest, that kind of thing could happen quite regularly, but we just don't see it on TV, so we don't talk about it. So we've been talking about it for the last 3 days. The one thing I do believe in our physical contact elite sport that it is, forget about the kids' footy, that's different. But at the elite level of this physical contact combat sport, you can never allow yourself to be bullied or intimidated. But to me, it went back to Dylan Shield, the player himself. Like, I would always think with my players, if someone is mocking you, you've got to react back. Now, don't go and punch him, but you might just go and push and shove, like wrestling. If I feel like I've been intimidated or bullied, I'm just going to fight back. I'm going to stand up for myself. And then guess what? It's finished. It's not something that your team is going to run around trying to find, belt Luke Parker later in the game. I mean, that's all just ridiculous. That's just stupid thinking. But if you're an individual player and you're being bullied and feel like you're being bullied, and maybe Dylan Shield didn't feel like he was being bullied and intimidated, but it looked like he was from the outside, didn't it? But he's the one who has to, at the moment, sort of fight back in some manner, push and shove, have a wrestle, whatever, but don't allow it to go unchallenged. And guess what? I would want my team then to get on with the game.
Yeah.
It's not about looking for retribution. I mean, I just think, to be honest, I know Sheeds might have said it on there, but I don't think Sheeds even would have told his teams to do that, because the game's hard enough. Your players have got to concentrate on the game without looking for a particular player to get some vengeance over. That's my view.
Well, yeah, and it is, and that's what I'd expect from a great player and a great coach. But I tell you, if I was in the same position, I'd want my teammates to fly the flag. I certainly would have flown the flag, and I certainly would have liked to have seen Luke Parker on a stretcher.
You have got the old style. Well, to be honest, I don't think it was that big deal. I mean, I just don't think it's that
Being
big
called
deal.
a fraidy cat, I reckon there's nothing worse you could be called on a footy field.
He motioned that way. I don't know what words he said, but I think he was saying, you dropped the. But as I say, I just think it's up to each individual player to stand up for himself.
Okay.
I don't hold this thing that all of a sudden all your teammates need to help you. Your teammates don't. He wasn't getting assaulted. All he was getting verbal. So, anyway, like last week, Rowey, I just sometimes think where we are in the game. Last week we spent 3 days talking about when David Noble gave us great players. We spent 3 days talking about, and we've spent 3 days talking about this little incident, and it is a little incident in the big picture, where one player, sort of was a bit mocking and derogatory towards another player. God hell, I mean, imagine how much that happens on the field that we don't see off the field. I mean, that's happening all the time, isn't it? The verbal
of course it is.
Interplay. So I thought it was an interview, but I think it always comes back to me. Never be intimidated, but you as an individual player, you have to have that attitude. So I feel like I'm being intimidated, I'm going to stand up for myself. You don't need your teammates standing up for you, because it's not that significant, I didn't think.
No, fair call. Now, Lee, a lot of people would like you to be the CEO for the day, the chairman of the Commission's meeting, and they've got a massive lot of agenda items on board. So you are the CEO for the day. So what are you doing?
Well, of the decisions that are in the wind, the grand final, I must admit I'm happy with a 4 o'clock grand final, like what you call the twilight grand final. Where I find that's my favourite time to go to the footy. That late afternoon, it finishes about 7 o'clock, 7:30, whatever. And I think that's what I would do. I would think, we're ready to go to a twilight grand final. Have a look at that. I hope we never go to a night grand final. But that's only on the strange thing that, so the grand final finishes at 10:30. It's bloody late in the night to then do your celebrating and what have you. So I kind of think, but the one and the other thing that I'd want to know, as they use that term monetise. Tell me, like, this is what I would want if I was on the commission. What is the financial implications of it all? Do we make any more money or any less money by being on it at night or twilight, or is it exactly the same? So if it's exactly the same financially, then okay, I'd vote for the twilight one. But if you could make sort of an extra $5 million by playing it at night, that'd be pretty compelling.
Yeah, yep. I think most decisions made by the AFL, are about bees and honey. So they're going to go to twilight because
and drop the bounce, as we mentioned before. That's an easy one. Get rid of the bounce. Don't make your decision makers need a skill.
Nah, very well done, Lee. Have a great week. Thanks for the time. The Merlot will be in the it'll be in the mail.
That's always a good one. I love it.
I know. Too good. Lee Matthews, our guest.
Thank you, Lee. We'll see you next week. The great Lee Matthews. On the other side, the great Ian Postecoglou, not too far away. A chat recorded earlier in Scotland after his results over the last week or so. Time for this.
The FIVEAA Sports Show Mystery Moments.
This is some sort of finish.
Talk about bees and honey. Serious cash now. $550 if you know what that mystery sporting moment is for the Barrow Hotel, the Albion, the Birkenhead, the Excelsior, the Sundowner in Whyalla. It is the perfect meal. 8223 0055.
The FIVEAA Sports Show Mystery Moments.
This is some sort of finish.
Some sort of finish. It is not football. AFL, SNFL.
Okay.
And
What's
we know
the other
it's
clue?
Not golf.
Not golf.
So if you can guess what it is, $550 could be yours. Worst case, you get a $50 voucher to spend at the Burrows. We're going to take your calls next.
At Theberton, look out for a smash on Port Road near George Street. Stirred, another collision there, Diagonal Road near Seacombe Road. Crayford's broken down truck on the freeway up track just past Measdays Bridge, blocking the left-hand lane, speeds reduced. And Modbury lights are playing up after an earlier smash Northeast Road near Tea Tree Plaza. Look out for cameras on the drive home, Springbank Road, Clapham, and Raglan Avenue at Edwardstown. Stay toasty this winter with Simply Energy, with up to 18% of gas usage and supply charges. Planes not available in all areas. That's Simply Energy, backed by Engie. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Each week on Rowey's Sports Show, Rowey invites some of his pals from the world of sport onto the show for a chat. Thanks to Pals, Parafield Airport Liquor, home of the hardest to find wines, beers and spirits. Life's better with your pals.
Well, time to find out what is making news in the Channel 7 newsroom as we welcome Jane Doyle to the show. And Jane, yet another ram raid.
Indeed, Leith. A worker, though, has turned the tables on last night's ram raiders at a Felix Stowe supermarket. We'll explain what happened in the early hours of this morning. The opposition, state opposition that is, accusing the Premier of turning COVID legislation into a dictatorship within the state. There's been a crackdown launched by the consumer watchdog on servos failing to report real-time pricing. Meantime, scores of motorists have been busted by a 24-hour anti-distraction blitz by police. Now in sport, the national championships are underway down at the South Australian Aquatics Centre, and with her doping scandal behind her, Shayna Jack is on the cusp of returning to the Australian swim team. Pop star Cody Simpson also in the mix. We'll bring you the latest from there. Riley Thilthorpe set for an AFL recall against the Saints this weekend for the Crows, and Adelaide United to suit up tonight in their first semi-final leg against Melbourne Victory. We'll have all the details for you tonight at 6 in 7 News. Look forward to your company then.
Thank you, Jane. Jane Doyle and all the team at Channel 7. There's only one choice, 7 News, tonight at 6.
Bring back from overseas $1 trillion of Australian super. Inject it into the Australian economy. Save your family's future. Vote 1, United Australia Party.
Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
With tax time approaching, it's time to take advantage of the federal government's instant asset write-off. It's also a great time to speak to Toyota about a new forklift for your business. Check out their huge range of quality Toyota forklifts, pallet jacks, walkie stackers, reach forklifts and more. With legendary reliability and safety, plus cleaner, greener electric options. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
Terms and conditions apply.
So, why go with NRG Solar?
The reason why we became an NRG Solar customer was because primarily we trusted Michael, and we've seen a lot of stuff on the internet about how cheap and nasty some of the goods were and some of the services. And Michael explained to us what NRG Solar did, and it seemed to us the logical way to go. We didn't seek other quotes because we were very trusting of Michael's expertise and that of the implementers of the system.
Visit nrgsolar.com.au. Construction of 88 O'Connell has commenced. This is truly one of the most impressive developments in Adelaide for a very long time. 88 O'Connell will encapsulate connected living, community and style with boutiques, retail and culinary experiences on your doorstep. 2 and 3 bedroom apartments are still available from $1.1 million. Visit the new display suite at 53 O'Connell Street, North Adelaide. Proudly developed by Commercial and General, creating South Australian communities for over 25 years.
Hi, Nick Xenophon here. This election, you can vote differently. The green ballot paper is where you choose who forms government. The white ballot paper, where I'll be, is for the Senate, where I will stand up for South Australia because I give a damn. Vote 1 in Box O above the line on the white ballot paper to vote for me. Box O is just next to the Greens. Give me a go. Vote 1, Box O. Authorised by Nick Xenophon Paradise.
Walker Crash Repairs. For easy insurance repairs on your caravan, get it fixed right with Walker Crash Repairs.
This is Rowey's Sports Show.
25 minutes after 5, Ange Postecoglou coming up after the news.
Looking forward to that. Let's go to West Lakes. John.
Oh, g'day, Rowey.
You got a view on the umps?
Yes. I've got a view on the umps. I like the idea of 2 umps. I'd have 3 and at least 6 interchanges per match. So they all get a chance.
Yep.
And they all get a chance to be summed up. The other two that I'm suggesting is this ungodly scramble that we seem to be inflicted with. But borrow something from rugby. You can't touch the ball unless you're on your feet. So if you fall on the ball, you've got a fraction of a second to get it out, and you can't pull it back in. And any tackle, there can be 2 tacklers on top of the other bloke, anyone, either side, that comes in again, free kick.
We had the rule if you raked it in under the bloke and tackled him, you got pinged for it. I don't know where that one went, John, but I do like that. Great work. Thanks for your call. Sip and Save text. Words of wisdom. Leith needs to wake up and grow up. Row. Trevor Barnes, formerly Narracourt. What's formerly Narracourt, mate?
I don't know. He does it on every text, though, Trev.
Barnesy boy. What does that mean? Send me a text. Love your work. Hello, Baz.
Hello.
Baz, you're on.
Thanks, mate. How are you going, all right?
Oh, mate, I'm flying, Baz.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm one of these guys that's just simply getting fed up with watching this crap on the television. I used to go and watch a footy. These days, I only go and watch my local sample team. I've had it with the AFL. I still watch Adelaide and Port Adelaide, but the rest of it's gone.
Yeah. A lot of people like that, Baz.
I used to spend a whole weekend in my brew room watching football.
Oh.
And my wife is very upset that I stopped.
She wants you back in the brew room,
That's
Baz.
right.
No, I hear it. Look, I'm hearing a lot of this, Barry. I'm hearing a lot of it. My mates, just around the corridors here, our clients, there's a frustration with the game. There is a frustration within the game. I'll say it for the millionth time. It's still the greatest game ever.
Of course.
Going there live is still the best, and we're blessed. But there are fractures within our game that are overwhelming and overbearing, as Barry says. The standard of umpiring, but we've got to love them. The interpretations of the rules, we've got to go with them. The stand rule, the 50-metre penalty, the swings and roundabouts of all of that, it bloody breaks your nuts.
But no, I'm not going to let that go. But I wonder too whether a global pandemic has changed people's tastes, whether it's changed their interests, whether it's changed their use of time. I mean, we are seeing the lowest crowd since '95. So people aren't in love with footy in general as much anymore. Not just
or leaving home in general. Hello, Heath. Heath.
Yeah, how you going, mate?
We got you.
Hey, just ringing up about these umpires. If we could clean up a couple of areas. How about we adopt the same rules in basketball? the ball can be the ball can be over the boundary line, but not out unless the player's out. And that way, when they're umpiring on the curve, you're going to get it right every time.
You're talking about that one where Ned McHenry grabbed it and kicked the goal.
Yeah.
And Cornsey yesterday said the parallax of the ball was it wasn't out. Here's one from Dave. You've been a bit quiet this week on boundary umps, Row. You can't do their job and your team gets a goal. Well, you know, that was a wrong error.
It was.
We called it that way.
And
Dave, we called it exactly like
Graham
that.
again today, that vision, and he'll go to his grave thinking that was in.
At 10 minutes to 2, he said, oh, I might be wrong.
That's right. Hey, we're going to get to a break. Ange Postecoglou is going to join us.
Excellent.
We chatted to him earlier from Scotland, but first, if you or your kids or your grandkids play footy, you can win your team $2,000 and Sharon Footies. Just head to 5AA.com.au to enter. It's all thanks to the Hyundai Starry Load. They're the only van with the ANCAP 5-star and platinum safety ratings and 5AA.
5AA Breakfast.
John Kernahan is the CEO of the Adelaide Footy League.
We seem to have this culture at the moment where the parent cohort watching their kids play on the sideline seem to think they've got the next Dusty Martin or the next Luke Longley, or when we talk about white line fever, it applies to parents as well.
Yes, it certainly does. Informing Adelaide. Is there an umpire shortage, John?
There's an umpire shortage, there's a volunteer shortage.
6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA.
Going to Hawaii when half of Australia was burning was a mistake.
I don't hold a hose, mate.
Not making sure we had enough vaccines and rapid tests was a mistake.
It's not a race, it's not a competition.
No one gets it right all the time, but Morrison makes too many mistakes. Next time something goes wrong, do you trust him to make it right?
Because that's not my job. That's not my job. It's not my job to do that.
Authorised by P. Erickson, Australian Labor Party, Canberra.
Well, 1 in 4 Australian women experience domestic violence in their lifetime, and after years of COVID-19 lockdowns and restrictions, the number is likely to be even higher. It's no wonder domestic violence is the leading cause of women's homelessness in Australia. This year, by supporting the Salvo's Red Shield appeal, you can help women and children find a way out of violence and a way back into a safe and stable life. With your generosity, the Salvos can walk alongside women for as long as it takes, providing crisis accommodation, long-term housing support, warm meals, financial assistance and community support. Donate to the Red Shield appeal today. You can do so at salvationarmy.org.au and help the Salvos lead no one in need.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. Latest data shows wages growth is worse than expected, coming in at 2.4% for the year to March. Inflation for the same period is more than twice as high. On the campaign trail in Tasmania, the Prime Minister has accidentally bowled over a young boy during a game of soccer. Locally, more than 150 service stations across the state have been put on notice for not keeping up with real-time fuel pricing laws. And Adelaide United face Melbourne City at Cooper's Stadium tonight in the first of their semi-finals. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Theberton, smash on Port Road near George Street. Stirred another collision there, Diagonal Road near Seacombe Road. Crayford's broken down truck on the freeway up track just past Measdays Bridge. It's blocking the left-hand lane. Speeds are reduced at the moment. And Modbury lights are playing up after an earlier smash Northeast Road near Tea Tree Plaza. Busy at the moment, Nelson Street, McGill Road to Paynham Road. And we've got a camera at Nan Road at Woodside. Get $20 off at Coles when you spend $250 or more online. Ends May 24. Head to coles.com.au and use promo code online20. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Clear tonight, a low of 8. Mostly sunny tomorrow, 18. Right now it's 15 degrees. More news at 6 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
Would you like to bank $500,000? You could do just that if you get your tickets early in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. 2 early birds will each take away $500,000 in cash. There's no better reason to get in early. Your tickets also stay in the draw for the $4 million grand prize at Henley Beach. Join the fight and buy your tickets at homelottery.com.au. Licence M14166.
There's a hole in your budget, dear Labor, dear Labor.
Labor can't say how they'd pay for billions in extra spending. That means
more taxes are coming, more taxes with Labor.
It won't be easy under Albanese. Authorised by AHO's Liberal Canberra.
Imagine the thought of innovation at your fingertips, accelerating with efficiency and power.
Imagine a bold, striking design with the comfort and confidence of advanced safety tech. Imagine where you could go in a Hyundai SUV. An SUV range with enough style, tech and performance to turn your imagination into reality. So if you're thinking SUV, think Hyundai SUV. Discover yours at hyundai.com.au.
Scraped your caravan? Walker Crash Repairs, an RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
This is Rowey's Sports Show.
It is 26 minutes to 6. Very exciting. Let's head to Scotland.
Looking forward to this. Our next guest, he managed Celtic to a premiership. Ange Postecoglou, welcome and congratulations.
Yeah, cheers. It's been a pretty hectic few days, but starting to sink in now and enjoying it.
Geez, you look nice and sharp and good. I thought over there the Scots got a bit of grog into them. You're looking $1 million, Ange.
Yeah, that's a Scots, mate. I'm not a Scot. Yeah, I'm still a sort of relaxed, placid Aussie, mate. So no, I had a couple of quiet ones, but mate, at my age, and I got 2 young ones, mate, to get me up at 6 a.m. There's no big partying for me anymore.
Good man. You surprised some. Did you surprise yourself? In 12 months, look what you've achieved.
Look, no, I didn't, because I think then, I would have found it hard to sort of accomplish what we did, because I think, as you know, like when you're sort of a leader, that people need to believe in you. And I think people needed to see in me that I really thought we could do this. I think if it was just all smoke and mirrors and I didn't really have belief in myself, then I think after a time, people would see through that. But I had a real conviction. I didn't know whether we'd end up champions, but I had a conviction that, we could have a good shake at it this year. We could be a good football team and challenge for it. And that's been the focus all year. So, and I also understood, this is a football club that's steeped in success, and last year it didn't win anything, and we couldn't go 2 years without having some sort of success. So I knew that, it was on me to make sure that we delivered.
And when you first arrived, some of the Celtic media were mocking you. So how tough were those early days? I think some of them called you Ange Postecoglou. Did you try and do a Mark Williams, Alan Scott style and stick it right up him? And
no, and it wasn't really the Celtic media. I think it was just media in general, mate. I've come from the other side of the world. They've got no idea. It's sort of they don't see Australia as a sort of a bastion of football sort of pedigree in terms of a manager. So I kind of understood that. And to be fair, mate, I've had some fair whacks in Australia as well, mate, from the media there. So I was well schooled in dealing with it. So it's never really bothered me. For me, it's more about, you get an opportunity, then it's up to me to dispel any doubts people may have about me. The initial bit, well, that's just par for the course. You've got to go in there and even if you come in on a white horse, mate, and everyone wants you, that's no guarantee of success either. You just got to make sure you deliver when given the opportunity, and that's always been my focus.
And you're finally in a country where soccer's number one. The people's lives, it's religion, it's a way of life. Is it everything you dreamed it to be?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think that's the biggest bit. I mean, look, I've been pretty lucky. I've had a lot of success in my career and I've enjoyed every one of it, but I've always craved to be in an environment where people are as passionate about this game as I was, and that was the experience I wanted to live. That was the experience I wanted to be in the middle of, and it hasn't disappointed. I mean, the passion people here, as you said, they're not. People have to find a new word for it, because they're not fans and not supporters of the football club. This football club is who they are. Their whole week, their whole year, the mood is gauged by how this team goes. They get out the fixture list and they plan their weddings, baptisms, christenings, whatever you want around the games. They plan their holidays around the season. So it's a way of life for them. And, I love that, because that's how I felt about the game my whole life. So it's just great to be in the middle of it.
Well done. The Rangers-Celtic rivalry, how fierce is it? Do we even have any idea over here?
Nah, mate. It's. I said before, it's Port Adelaide on steroids, mate. You're talking, 10 levels above. This is steeped in, and they say, if you're manager of one of those clubs, 50% of the city loves you and the other 50% detests you. But that's only if you're successful. If you're not, then the whole city bloody hates you. So, you can't go anywhere without people, declaring their allegiance for one or the other. And again, that's part of it. You love the fact that there's rivalry there, and that gets the competitive juices going.
Yeah, well, they've become our second team, Celtic, no question. The Aussie connection was strong with Tommy Rogic. He ended up a cult figure.
To the other side of the world, and it's rare for sort of a foreigner to stay so long at a football club over here in Europe, Tommy's been here 19 years now, and
wow.
They loved him here, mate. You look at his highlight reel, and Tommy had a knack of not just scoring goals, but scoring special ones. The ones that mean the most to win against Rangers or to win a cup final, or so those kind of things stick in the memory. And it was great that he was able to end it in the right way. As sometimes your sporting careers, you don't get to write your ending. And I reckon if Tommy could write the perfect ending for himself here at Celtic, he would have said, what, I'd love to play at home in front of 60,000 and leave as a champion. And that's exactly what he did. Although he hit the post, he probably would have wanted to score as well.
He did too. Yeah.
You can't have it all, mate. You can't have it all.
Life's not meant to be like that. Have you got your eye on any other Aussies? Is your phone running hot, Ange?
Yeah, look, I'm always sort of abreast of what's happening back home, and I think there's we've got maybe 2 or 3 Aussies playing in the Scottish Premiership next year at other clubs. So, and it is a market that everyone looks at, and whilst the A-League's been through a bit of a tough time, I think what I have noticed over the last sort of particularly 12 months, a lot of young players are getting an opportunity, which I think in the long term is probably a good thing. So look, I'm always looking, and if the next Tommy Rogic comes along, this football club has a tradition of having Aussies through here, from Mark Viduka and Scotty McDonald and Jackson Irvine. So there's always been an Aussie connection. So I'll try and make that continue, mate.
Celtic Championship manager Ange Postecoglou, our guest. You've won a championship for South Melbourne, Brisbane Roar, the Asian Cup with our mighty Socceroos, Yokohama, now Celtic. Success seems to follow you, Ange.
I've done all right, mate.
You've done all right, Ange.
I've gone okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I actually won a couple at South and a couple at Brisbane, but that's a small
true.
point. That's all right.
Yeah.
No, it's look, mate, it's been great. I've been really lucky. You know what it's like, when you win those things, the biggest thing for me is those memories stay with you forever. I can reconnect with people at South that we won championship with, or at Brisbane, or with the Socceroos or Yokohama. Now at Celtic, I know in 20 years' time, if I bump into those people, that we've shared something special together. And that's why I love this game, mate. I've been blessed. I've avoided having a real job my whole life. I've kind of just gone along doing what I love, and I've been pretty blessed with it all.
Yeah, you're being very modest there. You got a rolling contract. You signed for 1 year. There wouldn't be another manager in the world that had done that and backed himself in, Ange. So for that, well done. I think a bit of the Australian way, that. So what's next, Ange? What's next?
Next, well, let's just see, mate. I mean, if you had asked me what was next, maybe even 12 months ago, I probably wouldn't have said this. So, we're champions now. We're in the Champions League next year, which will be enormous. Playing against the best in Europe, some of the best football clubs in the world. Who's to know, mate? I've never laid down a goal in my life, because if I did, I probably would have surpassed it 20 odd years ago. And every next step gives you an opportunity to do something, be part of something special. So who knows what the next 12 months have in store for us? But like always, mate, I'll have a decent crack at it and see what comes out.
Beautiful. Did I read you'll be the first Aussie coach ever to coach a Championship League team?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's probably a few firsts that'll happen, but again, I think that's great, not just for me, but hopefully that means that opportunities open up for other Aussies, other Aussie managers particularly. We've got some fantastic young Aussie managers in Australia and working in Japan and some starting their careers in Europe. And I think with these kind of things, a bit like Aussie players back in sort of the 80s and 90s, the pioneers that came over here and opened the doors for Aussie footballers to have careers. Hopefully I can continue to have success, and that opens the doors and opportunities for others.
Yeah. Saw on Twitter today, I caught a photo of you with Mile Jedinak, our Socceroos skipper. You coached us. It's almost 5 years to the day we qualified for that 2018 World Cup. I can remember it vividly. Loved the Socceroos. Yeah. If the FFA rung you today, Ange, and said, the job's yours, come on, we need you.
Yeah.
Come on, Ange, we need you.
They probably won't get me today, mate. I've got a busy day, so it would go through to my message bank, and then I'll deal with it there.
Yeah, well, we got you. Tell me, the Scottish, they have a very broad accent. Can you understand a damn word they say?
It is a struggle. Like there have been moments where I'm sitting in the company of others and they've had a pretty robust discussion about something, and I haven't really contributed. And they think it's because I'm listening, intently and have a firm view, but it's because I don't even know what they're talking about, mate. So I just kind of nod really assertively, and they think I'm all across it. So yeah, it's fair to say I got a way to go.
Yeah, okay. It's my favourite accent to take off. How's this go? Ark, chump is so chumpy, you can carve it. Did that sound Scottish at all, Ange?
I don't even know what that sounded like, mate. I've got no idea.
It's an ad. It's a Pal's ad over here. Pal's meaty bite.
I know it's an ad. I know, mate. I know the ad, but that's not Scottish.
Yes,
I don't even know what that is.
Ark, chump, so chumpy. Chumpy. That is certainly Scottish. Give me your best Scottish. Come on if you think you're that good.
I'm just glad we're not in the same room, mate, because I would have got a hell of a spray out in the middle of that, I'll tell you now.
Hey, before we go, and we're blessed to have you, Ange, we're that proud of you, mate. The Mighty Blues, they're sitting top 4. I just want to know, do you want me to organise your grand final tickets? It's been a long time. Ange, just give me the word and it's done.
I don't, mate. Vossi's got it, mate. He knows what he's doing. I'm wrapped. He's at the helm. We've got a good crop of young players, but 1 week at a time, mate. No grand final parades yet. Let's just take it easy. But they're going well. I love the Blues. Always follow them, mate.
Yeah, we know that. Look, you performed, some say, a mini sporting miracle to turn Celtic around in 12 months. You were 25 points behind the Rangers the year before to win the Scottish Premiership title. It's been enormous, Ange. We're proud of you, mate. Keep going. Don't ever set goals. As you said, no need. Mate, you're blessed. Live your dream. You're there, and we'll keep in touch.
You're a good man. Thank you, bud.
Good on you, Ange Postecoglou. What an absolute star. We are blessed. Our guest. Looking forward to this.
Kings Road near Cross Keys Road with a camera, Stonehouse Avenue at Camden Park. After a new ute, head to Wayne Phillips Isuzu Utes and take the award-winning Isuzu D-Max for an extended test drive. Visit Wayne Phillips Isuzu Ute, Christie's Beach. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Catch Port Adelaide big key forward Charlie Dixon each week on Rowey Sports Show.
Big Charlie's kicked it!
Thanks to Macca's. Earn points on your Macca's run after the game with My Macca's Rewards. Macca's SA, home of footy.
I'm Henry. When I caught COVID, struggle to breathe.
Double vaxxed isn't fully vaxxed. Book your third COVID shot now.
A message from the Government of South Australia.
Attention dilly-dalliers. If you thought you'd run out of time to score a great end of financial year deal on a new Volkswagen, listen to this. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen is about to receive truckloads of new Volkswagens, and they're available at amazing end of financial year prices. And remember Mawson Lakes Volkswagen for servicing too, with next day servicing and free loan cars. Don't dilly-dally, dawdle or delay. Get a great deal on Volkswagen now. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Is 2022 the year you start planning life?
After retirement, feel confident in your newfound social and financial freedom when you move into a Caritas retirement village. With 11 locations across Adelaide, including Brooklyn Park, Marion and Glenelg, the lifestyle you have always dreamed of is just around the corner. Call Caritas Retirement Villages now on 1300 796 311 to book a village tour. Caritas Retirement Villages, building better communities.
Well, the Australian Dental Association are calling on all parties in the 2022 federal election to stop the rot and respond to the damning report of the Royal Commission into Residential Aged Care. The state of dental and oral health in Australia's residential aged care facilities is pretty appalling, with many vulnerable people suffering because of a lack of access to appropriate services in a clearly underfunded public dental system. There's been no real improvements following the Royal Commission's report, and it's time to take action and urge our next government to address the issue. The ADA can offer a personal briefing to any candidates willing to commit to stop the rot. Changes need to happen now. Authorised by E. Irving, Australian Dental Association, Sydney.
Looking to build or renovate? Then talk to Rundle Blinds and Curtains to plan your window furnishings. Including your blinds and curtains in your designs means you can incorporate the latest in smart home technology and installation innovations, such as ceiling recessing and double tracking. Rundle Blinds and Curtains work closely with your builders and architect to make the process seamless for stunning results. Rundle Blinds and Curtains, Adelaide's premier window furnishings company. Book a consultation with our Kings Park team. Visit rundleblinds.com.au.
I'm Rachel Swift, health specialist, small business owner, volunteer and Liberal candidate for Boothby. I know what's important to you. A strong economy means reduced cost of living and a stronger future. Vote 1 for Rachel Swift in Boothby.
Authorised S. Meldrum, Liberal, Adelaide.
So here's a question. What's behind a pair of glasses? Eyes. And do you know what's behind the glasses at Specsavers? Optometrists. Yes, every Specsavers store is locally owned and operated by a qualified, experienced optometrist whose only focus is improving yours. So as well as a superb range of frames at great prices, you can be confident that your eye health is in great hands too. So book an eye test today. Should have gone to Specsavers.
Pay back Liberal and Labor's $1 trillion of debt with the UAP's 15% iron ore export licence on Asian manufacturing. Vote 1, United Australia Party.
Authorised by Clyde Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
Scraped your caravan? Your insurance should cover that. Speak to Walker Crash Repairs and let them fix it.
This is Rowey's Sports Show.
9 minutes to 6, normally on a Wednesday night. Pretty quiet in the city of churches. Not so tonight. Adelaide United in action, and at Marion, we've got day 1 and night 1 of the Australian Swimming Championships. We've got a double pass to give away if you'd like to go. It's on until Sunday. 8223 0055. First caller through, you can watch the stars of Australian swimming dive back into action for a spot on our international team, including Kyle Chalmers, right up until Sunday. Tickets available from Ticketek. First caller through, 8223 0055.
Yeah, I'm going to go on Friday. And talking about that, the Reds tonight, I hope they have an absolute ripper. I like this sip and save text before we go to Francis. I get so angry every time I hear the umpire say, "Stan!" Sounds like they're training their dogs. Jeanette from Selleck's Beach. That is so true. Hello, Francis.
Hi, how are you?
Very good.
Now, Stephen, I went to the game the other night with the Crows. That was the 100th game for them at Adelaide Oval. I've been to every one of those 100.
Wow.
And probably almost every game that the Crows have played in Adelaide, and quite a few interstate.
Brilliant.
I have one question. Oh, no, what I want to say first is that I think COVID has taught people to stay home and watch it. It's a different game on TV.
Yep.
If the Crows win, I go home and watch it again. And it's definitely a different game on TV, so you see a lot more things. But I just have one question, and it's been asked before, but I've never heard an answer. Why do the Crows crowds not get put on the screen anymore or in the paper?
Wow, I haven't noticed, Francis. So the crowd, the crowd numbers, you mean I don't know the answer to that. They
usually go up in the third quarter, and it's usually in the paper, or it used to be. And Port does it, but the Crows don't.
Okay.
And, it's just a curiosity thing, and it's weird now going, because I go with a girlfriend. We used to line up for 2 hours before the gates opened, and now we just walk in 10 minutes before the game and get a seat where we want to sit. So it's very strange.
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of that, Francis, but you keep
Good,
supporting the club. No, we will. We will certainly
Don't
do
worry,
that.
I'll never not support them.
Oh, that is brilliant. 100 games at
Well done. Raise the bat.
Adelaide Oval,
Francis.
and Francis has seen every one of them. Here's
You're right.
Here's a sip and save text. Can I read this one? What is wrong with the Crows? Question mark. Why play Riley Dillpickle, who hasn't played since round one? The Crows have no idea what they're doing. They've recruited very poorly. Too many little guys like Rowe, not up to AFL standard. The Fruit Tingles don't have any A-grade midfielders. Well, tell us what you really think.
Come on, be
you
respectful.
la-la head.
Be respectful
And
too.
put your name there too, please.
Right. No courage.
And it's Riley Thilthorpe, who's going to be an absolute star. And I'll say this to you, he'll be better than any player on your AFL list now. Port, clearly a Port supporter.
Yes.
He will be better than every player on your list right now.
At the end of his career.
Yeah. He's going to be a gun, this kid.
Ollie Wines won a Brownlow medal.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Hey, very quickly, that was shot down in flames rather quick. Old days, it used to be a big celebration on the big screen with the 50,000 people. Maybe they don't do it now because they're not quite getting those
Shut
numbers.
up,
Where has that gone?
The Last Shout.
That was one of the great
We
groups.
had that. Who told me to
Jared
shut
Healy
up? Jared
told you
Healy.
to shut up.
Shut up, Rowey.
Yep.
It's not my best last shout. Hey, actually, do this when you get home, not in your car on your way home. Google the name Scott Morrison.
Yes.
He is
Oh,
our...
yeah, this is good.
Yeah, he only saw it just then. He's got a video where he's playing soccer with these little kids. They'd have to be 8, 9 or 10.
Yeah, very small.
And he's taken a couple of side steps.
Yeah.
He's done a Johnny Howard, and he's just completely fallen over and bulldozed a little soccer kid.
Yes.
Absolutely squashed him.
He's just slipped. The old Julius Marlowe's just slid on the pitch and he's cannoned into a kid.
Yes. Absolutely gone, you know what, up. Hey, AFLW Premiership gun Sarah Perkins, she won a flag for the Crows in their inaugural year. We know that.
Big Tex.
She just signed with Hawthorn. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So she's played for the Crows, Melbourne, Gold Coast, now Hawthorn. That's 4 clubs in 6 seasons. Now, Sarah, I hope it's not you, Tex. Tex. But you know what? Then I had a look. Taylor Harris, who's already got a statue, I mean, go figure, has already got a statue, Leith.
Yeah, she's had
Leith,
a few
the
clubs
statue.
too. I know.
She's had 3 clubs, Lions, Carlton, Melbourne. I thought, well, how old is Taylor Harris? Supposedly a star. Haven't seen it. She's only 25.
Yeah, she's only young.
She could actually do another 5 or 6.
That's right. She might have...
Easy.
She might get the whole set by the time we
Taylor,
out. Hey,
go for the Royal Flush, love.
Well done.
Mine was from yesterday, really quick one. England has their first ever active professional male footballer, the soccer player, of course, Jake Daniels from Blackpool, who has openly become gay. 17-year-old said he was
come out as gay.
Openly come out.
Yeah.
He said the 17-year-old said he was inspired by one man, our very own Josh Cavallo.
Fantastic.
So, look, I'm amazed and very, very heartened that has become the case.
Well done.
Well done.
And we'll be watching Josh tonight. The Reds.
We
Go
will
Reds!
Indeed. Mine's a little unusual. So, as we know, this weekend is the federal election. Anyone in the western suburbs want one of the great democracy sausage?
Hang on, how
Make
unusual
your
is
way
this?
to Fulham North Primary School. I'll be on the toys
look
from
at this.
I'll be
All
on
due
the
credit to
I'll be
yourself.
I'll be on the tools from 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So it's a great
Okay.
fundraiser. And I know you're saying, well, hang on, there's no sport. Maddie Broadbent went to our school, so well
Okay.
done. That's the link I've got, just to
Jodie-
plug a free sausage sizzle.
Jodie Williams went to that school.
Did she really?
Nee Williams, Rowe now. Jodie Rowe.
Well, there you go.
Fulham
There's
North.
my link. I'm going to plug that tomorrow as well. So Western Suburbs, make sure you get along. Henley Beach, Fulham North Primary School, buy a sausage, support the school.
Yeah, good on your sausage head.
We'll see you tomorrow. Go you Reds.
Jono, wear your safety boots. In the Stario load. Hard hat, high-vis vest. In the Stario load. Listen, I know you used to